Welcome to Real Judaism with Rabbi Ari Klapper. Unfiltered wisdom for Jewish life.
Bez Hashem. Okay, so we decided to discuss last week how the only way to really have shalom in your home is by bringing Hashem into your home. That's it. Men and women can't really live with each other just from basics. You know, they say you can't live with them, you can't live without them. It's very, very, very difficult because there are so many differences. There are inherent differences. There are hormonal differences, which as Hashem, I hope we'll get to discuss each one individually so that you can understand better where the other one is coming from. And if we understand better where the other one's coming from, then we can also understand better how to be sensitive and how to work with those things. So, Ma'isa, what we need to understand is you must put in hard work. Anybody who's been married also for more than 6 months understands there's a lot of hard work that has to go in. It's a lot of hard work. And the only way that we're going to be really completely motivated is by making this as a real goal. We need to make this is a real goal in my life. Yeah, a person can have tremendous goals, professional goals. I want to accomplish this. Or if he's learning, he can have goals in his learning. He can have, what is his number one goal in his life? Shalom Bayis. That's my main goal. I have to say, it's not just something that just happens on the side and, it's just supposed to be regular. And no, it has to be an actual goal. If it's an actual goal, so then putting in work is part of that goal. And like we discussed last week, davening, that becomes a normal part of davening. There's no reason why any person in their own davening shouldn't be asking for things that they need. A person needs parnasa, he should be asking for parnasa in davening. He has a project that he needs to show to his boss or to his client or something like that. He should be davening for Hashem to help him for that. If a person is going for a medical test, and they should be davening to Hashem to heal him. Those things, a person should make the davening personal. So certainly when a person is davening, he should be davening for Shalom Bayis. He should daven that Hashem should keep away the negative influences that could possibly harm his home. A person should be davening for courage to do the right thing. A lot of times, especially people who've been married for a little bit longer, they start to understand a little bit better, what's gonna trigger my wife. If I say something, if I bring up a certain topic, then maybe she's not going to react well to it. So daven for the courage to say it anyway and the right words to say it. How to say it. This is a minefield. I need to say it. I need to talk about this. But if I start talking about it, I don't know what's going to happen. Hashem, give me the right words to say, and give her the ability to accept what I have to say. Daven to Hashem, because that's the only way that this is going to go. In order to bring the Shechinah into our homes, we have to see that we have to have real achdus. The Shechinah was in the home of the Avos HaKadoshim. Chazal tell us that after Sarah who passed away, so there were 3 things that left. And when Yitzchak married Rivka, they came back. One of the 3 things was an anan. There was a cloud on top of the tent of Avraham and Sarah. That is the same cloud that was on the top of the Mishkan. That was the Shechinah. The Maharal brings that the closest relationship between a husband and wife in the history of the world was Avraham Avinu and Sarah. That was the closest relationship that any couple ever had. We're talking about even more than Adam and Rishon, who Adam, Rishon, and Chava were be'etzim, one physical being. The closest relationship was Avraham and Sarah, and they were called Echad. So in order to really come to Shleimus, a person really needs to work on this. This has to be an active goal. The Vilna Gaon says it's brought in Sefer Even Shlema, that a person was put into this world to work on his midos. This is our main avoid over here. For a person to reach Shleimus, and certainly with regards to his midos, he needs to work on it. Where is that? That's at home. There could be a lot of people out there that do a tremendous amount of chesed, and they're amazing people, and they're ready to drop anything to help you. We don't know what goes on in their home. Hopefully they're doing even more at home. But in many of these stories, they're not doing anything at home. And they're only doing chesed on the outside. I actually was in a car once with a person, big big Baal chesed, and he always liked picking up people for tramps. And he had a pretty big car, and but when I was in the car with him at the time, so the car was full already. So he couldn't pick up any trampers. So every time we passed by somebody, he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I wish I could pick you up." But his car, besides for me, was full of his family. This is what you're taking your family is also worth something. That's also chashuv, right? No, I wish I could throw my family out and take all the trampers, right? No, of course not. Of course not. But unfortunately, there are some people who like they won't have a problem helping somebody who asks for help, even if it's something a little bit bigger, it takes more time. But somehow when a wife asks, they don't have any time, or it's too hard, or it's too annoying. And other, it's supposed to be the opposite. It's supposed to be that the main person, this is my main goal. Shalom Bayis, the chesed that they do at home is more important than anything else. And this applies, and this is not just Shana Rishona. Shana Rishona is the time to establish it, to make a strong yisoid. And if you make that strong foundation in Shana Rishona, so then you can build off of it, you can maintain it. For many people, they say nowadays Shana Rishona might take much more than a year. It could take 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. But what's the reason? What's the idea? The idea behind Shana Rishona is that the first year I need to make such a strong, established home that my wife feels exactly that this is my place. I feel comfortable with my home. I feel comfortable with my husband, and specifically the main yisoid is that I feel that my husband loves me. That is something that a man might feel after a few months, and a woman will take a lot longer. Why? That's just the nature. That's just the way it is. Nobody to blame for it. What do you mean? But you know what I did for her in those last 2-3 months? Why do I feel like I feel great? A lot of times it's also the husband is a little bit fooling himself. Like in Shiva Katana. In Shiva Katana, so the Shir Aleph boys, they come in, they think they know everything. Yeah, they come in, they're brilliant, whatever. By the time they get to Shir Bayis, so then, they don't, they're a little bit unsure now. By the time they get to Shir Gimel, hopefully they realize they don't really know very much. Why? What happened? What happened was the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know. The less you know, so you think there is only so much. The more you know, you realize life's a lot more complicated. Life's a lot bigger. There is a lot more out there than what you think in the first place. And that's what happens. That's what happens. A person gets married and they think, wow, I know everything, which is why a lot of times the Shalom Bayis classes and the Shalom Bayis books don't really help. And either reading them before getting married or really, really right after getting married. They don't really help because the person reads them and they're like, oh, So years later, what do you mean? I read that book. It was pointless. You read it at a time when you weren't sensitive to what really was necessary. But afterwards, when you realize, wait a second, there's a lot of work that needs to be put in over here. So that's why all of a sudden these things become much, much more nogea. Shana Rishona, the purpose is to set the foundations that a husband and a wife feel that they're together, they're working hard together, that they care about each other, that they're putting each other first. And that can't stop necessarily after that. It's not like, oh, Shana Rishona is over, okay, see you later. I'll come home, an hour a day, and that's it. It has to be a consistent maintenance that goes into this work. So I'm going to give you a few important aids and ideas that I think are very common in order to bring out these points. There's a very big misconception, and that is that spontaneity is the key to having a great marriage. Spontaneity a lot of times is the destruction of a lot of marriages. Being spontaneous, meaning, oh, we'll see how things happen. Wow, being spontaneous was great for being a teenager. All of a sudden, you decide, okay, just on a whim, I'm going to Tzfat. Yeah, having a marriage, you can't do things like that. But it was so fun. She'll have so much fun too. Yeah, at the last second, no, she's not interested. She's not willing to do that, or she wants to do something, but I'm not interested. What happens when, in general in life, when you're spontaneous, a lot of times it just doesn't happen. You're waiting for something to happen, and it just doesn't happen. You know when something spontaneous works? If you have a whole group of guys together, and one guy says, hey, let's go somewhere. And out of 30 guys, you get 5 guys together to go. So great, you can have a great time. And you think like, wow, it's being spontaneous. But you don't realize that the other 25 guys weren't interested in going. So you got a group of 5 guys together and you had a great time. That's amazing. But when you're dealing with this only with the other one, so then if she's not coming, then you're not having, and she wants to do it and you're not coming, so then the whole thing falls flat and you don't end up with anything. When you schedule something together, having a schedule, basically what it means is that it's going to happen. When you schedule, you can't just show up at a doctor's appointment and say, I'm here. No, sorry, you can't do that. You need to make an appointment. You can't just show up. If something is important to you, then you schedule it into your day. It might sound like it's very dry, but it's really the opposite. This is something chashuv. This is something important. So if it's something important, I'm going to make a schedule for it. I'm going to put it into my day, or certainly into my week. Right? I'm so busy, but I don't have time to sit for an hour. I don't have time to take a walk together. This is anything that's important to you that you want to happen. Put it into your schedule. That's an eitzah toiva in all things in life. If this is chashuv, make time for it. Make time for it means schedule the time, because I was planning on doing something, but I never told her that I was going to do it. And I had set aside this time, but I didn't tell her. And she's, what do you mean? I already made plans with a friend to go to here. But this was the time I give you. Well, very nice, but you never told me. You can't, being spontaneous will work here and there, but because you both have to be on the same place, so schedule the time together also gives you time to prepare. If you're scheduling something in, it means that it's chashuv to me that I won't have other things to do during that time. I can work all my other things around this schedule so that I'll be free at this time, and I won't have some surprise because this is the scheduled time. I made an appointment. This is what I'm doing this time. And also I can prepare for it. If I'm scheduling time, I can think about, hey, what are we going to do? Where are we going to go? How are we going to, maybe it just means going to get a cup of coffee. Maybe it means taking a walk. Maybe it means something a little bit more than that. But you have time to think about it. Hey, a person saying, hey, you want to do something? What? I don't know. It makes it more significant. It makes it more chashuv. And both sides have the opportunity to do it. It gives a woman a chance to dress up. Hey, I know that this is coming. It could be depending on what it is. Whatever you're scheduling together. It's a very, very big deal, this point. I know it might sound like, it's very dry, but tachlis is that it works. And people who are married for more time than just, 6 months and have other things in their lives to do. So this taka works better for most people. I'm not saying in every situation, but in most situations, this will work a lot better for a lot of people. Person has to realize also when they're coming home from wherever they are, work, yeshiva, whatever they're doing, you're not the same person that you were there. A person can be like he could be the boss. He could have a certain status wherever he is at work. When you're coming home, you're a husband and the father. That's what you are. The mindset has to change. A person can't come in like, what do you mean? I'm the big boss. All of a sudden I'm supposed to be changing diapers. I'm the big boss. All of a sudden I'm supposed to, I gotta clean up, the runny noses and all these things. I don't do things like that. Like they say with the story that they say about a bunch of different rabbanim, whether it's Rav Gifter or was Rav Nachman Wachvogel, different people that there was a certain avrech that the wife was complaining to this Rav, and they spoke to him and said, she expects me to take out the garbage. I'm a chashuv avrech, sit and learn all day. I'm supposed to take out the garbage. So he said, you're right, absolutely. The next day there was a knock at the door and the Rav was there. He said, yeah, what's Rebbe doing here? He said, I'm not so chashuv, I can take out the garbage. Well, that's who we are. You are the father, the husband. You need to take a kid to the bathroom. You need to do sponger. You need to whenever it needs to be done. That's what you have to do. The mood when you come home, a lot of times, it's very difficult. had a hard day. It happens. You have a hard day. And that mood has a big effect on the home. You don't realize. She might have a bad day too, for sure. Everybody can have a bad day. But you are setting the tone when you come in. Even if things are already difficult, coming with a smile makes a big difference. Is it so easy? No, it's not so easy. Person had a rough day to come home and to change all of a sudden to have a big smile. That's not such a simple thing. It's a hard thing to do. No, the eights is also, if a person's hungry, this is a big deal. Men who are hungry are cranky. That's a klal. That's it. Men who are hungry are cranky. Women who have had husbands for long enough know that. They know the klal. So, but the point is not, okay, come in, be cranky, and then eat, and then apologize for all the things that you said. No, eat before you come in, even if it's just a little bit, even if it's just something just to calm yourself down. Make sure to have something to eat. Especially if this happens often, right? Depending on each person's schedule and how you're living. So you might be having an early lunch and a late dinner, and you come home every single night starving. So this is certainly could be a problematic situation. Let's deal with it beforehand. A simple way: just take a snack with you, whatever it is, just enough that you could still eat dinner that she made, and she shouldn't have made dinner for nothing. On the other hand, that you come back and that's funny. When difficult things, let's call it difficult things, happen wherever you're coming from, which does happen depending on the situation. Sometimes it happens more often, some happen less often. If a person is having troubles wherever they're working and they're coming home in a bad mood every single day, that is definitely a sign that maybe you need to change what you're doing. There are obviously other factors that need to go into it, but if a person is coming home every single day in a bad mood, that's not a life. Can't live like that. So definitely take all the other factors into account as well, but it's definitely a very important factor, because coming home like that every day is going to ruin your life. There's no question. When you get home, don't expect to be served. You're coming home to work. You're not coming home. Yeah, what do you mean? I worked all day. Now I'm coming home and now she's going to serve me. No. It doesn't work like that. So you think she wasn't working hard all day? You're doing it working just as hard. She's working just as hard as you. You come in, you smile, you'll be as positive as you possibly can and help. You'll see in the end that it actually will turn out in reverse. The more you want to help, the more it will be easy for her to give to you as well. The more a husband gives to his wife and his wife feels love, the more she'll want to give back. That's the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu created it. A wife wants to give to her husband. She wants to. Not because she's a servant, but because that's the nature of a woman, that she wants to give to the one who she knows loves her. She knows that he loves her. She wants to give back. That's normal. If it's not happening like that, then there's something going wrong somewhere. The more the husband makes his wife feel love, the more she's going to want to give back. Therefore, if things are going difficult when you get home, the first thing you do is you grab a broom and you grab a kid and you helping with other things without being asked. And you put things in motion without being asked. So then she'll want to get back to you, because I'm not expecting to come in and she's going to serve me. I'm coming in and I'm here to work. I'm here to work hard. That's it. And for how long is it going to be like that? Well, I don't know. Usually things get harder, and kids get bigger. They say little kids, little problems. Big kids, big problems. And you want, like, until once my kid is toilet trained, that's it. Then I made it. It might take a long time before the last kid is toilet trained, by the way. Still working on it now. Lemaise, it doesn't, at a certain point, things do become easier, but certainly not for a long time. It could take and during that time, you're supposed to be building things up. If we put in the focus before we come home, so then it'll be much easier. It has to be part of our mindset. What do I have to do when I get home? I have to smile. What do I have to do when I have to get home? To say a nice word. This becomes part of your routine. A smile when you come home. Even sometimes difficult situations. I remember bunch of years ago when I was helping somebody with a very, very difficult situation, a very sad, difficult situation. And it was very, very much weighing on me. And I came home and I wasn't necessarily smiling. I was dealing with something nobody should have to deal with. And I wasn't smiling, and my wife saw it and she was upset about it. But I couldn't tell her what it was because certainly Lashon Hara. So I asked my Rebbe, I said, what should I do? So he said to me, be a better actor. That's what he said. Come home with a smile anyway. You can't tell her, it's Lashon Hara, so you can't tell her. So what do you have to do? Smile anyway. Now she'll understand, she'll be able to, if she knows you well enough, she'll be able to see straight through you and understand that you're having a bit of a hard time. But it's still different. It's still different. You coming home looking down versus coming home and looking up, looking happy. Even if it's just an act. She'll find out eventually about it. But the first thing should be something nice. She hasn't seen you all day. What she wants to see, the first thing she sees after not seeing you the whole day, so she's going to see how terrible, you look. You don't look good. That's the first thing that she wants to see. So yes, it's true, it's an act, and for sure you're faking it. And she'll know that too. But it's still, that extra smile is still going to do something. It's still going to make it a little bit better. I'm not going to say that, everybody has ups and downs in life, and every person has better days and worse days. And that's part of making a marriage, is being there for each other, and each side helping the other one get through difficult times. And that's a very, essential part of marriage. The Maisa, though, and the day to day, you don't know what's happening on the other side of the door when you're walking. You have no idea. It could be any number of different things from one extreme to the other. Try your best to come in with a smile, having eaten something, and ready to work, ready to do whatever is necessary when you get home. It's not necessarily, I've been working all day. I'm so tired. I just want to come home and sit down and read a magazine, read a newspaper, and eat a nice hot meal. Why can't I do that? Oh, you can't. You can't until you have enough money that you have a butler and a maid or 6 maids and everything taken care of. And I'm not even necessarily saying that's going to be better for Shalom Bayis, but don't expect that you're going to have everything that you want the moment you get home. Adrabah, if your person is coming home ready to work hard, so then they'll be much, much better off. And the more she sees that you're going to work hard, for a woman, it's much more natural. She sees that her husband cares so much about her. Naturally, she'll join in as well, and she'll want to do for him as well. She'll say, no, don't worry about it. Sit down, relax. I just want to do a little bit here and there for you. No, sit down, relax. I already have your food ready. Okay. But Ezra Hashem will continue with this next week.
Thank you for joining Real Judaism, where we explore Torah's wisdom for real life. Created by J Foundations and produced by Eli Podcast Productions. Find more episodes at realjudaism.org and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.